From coast to coast, the truth don't sleep, and neither do we. This is American Vibe House. Buckle up, because the halls of Harvard just turned into the front lines of a constitutional showdown. You won't believe this. Harvard professors, the academic elite with syllabi sharper than swords, just sued the Trump administration for threatening to cut off nearly $9 billion in federal funding. Why? Because Trump's crew claims the university has fundamentally failed to protect students and faculty from anti-Semitic hate. But Harvard's faculty? They're calling it what they believe it is: political retaliation dressed up in moral panic. Two groups stepped into the legal ring: the American Association of University Professors and its Harvard chapter. These aren't just random tenured voices. These are the guardians of academic freedom. And they just filed a lawsuit in federal court that reads like a flaming arrow shot straight into the heart of D.C. The goal? A temporary restraining order to stop the funding axe from falling, and to protect what they say is their First Amendment right to speak, teach, and research without Big Brother breathing down their backs. The suit is thick with fire. It accuses the Trump administration of weaponizing civil rights enforcement to control campus discourse, chilling free speech under the guise of combating hate. Their words: "This is an unlawful and unprecedented misuse of federal funding and civil rights authority to undermine academic freedom and free speech on a university campus." Harvard law professor Andrew Manuel Crespo, who's also the general counsel of the faculty chapter, pulled no punches. His statement hit like a closing argument in a courtroom drama. Harvard faculty have the constitutional right to speak, teach, and conduct research without fearing that the government will retaliate against their viewpoints by canceling grants. Now let's talk about context. 'Cause this ain't happening in a vacuum. The Trump administration has been on a full-court press against what it sees as woke, elite universities. Harvard's not the only one in the crosshairs. Columbia, Cornell, and others have also caught heat for allegedly mishandling antisemitism on campus. But critics? They say this ain't about fighting hate. It's about fighting dissent, using federal funds as a leash to force schools to fall in line. Think about it. The moment a university steps out of ideological sync, suddenly their funding's up for review. That's not oversight. That's intimidation. Harvard President Alan Garber did issue a softer response, saying the university had spent the last 15 months working hard to combat anti-Semitism, and admitted there's still progress to be made. That's the tightrope he's walking. Acknowledge the real issue without giving in to what some are calling a political shakedown. Meanwhile, on the streets of Cambridge, the vibes were loud. Hundreds of protesters gathered in the bitter cold, bundled up in scarves and slogans, demanding Harvard push back. Students, professors, even the mayor of Cambridge, Denise Simmons, stood shoulder to shoulder. And she didn't hold back either. "Harvard has not just the resources to withstand the pressure," she said, "but the moral obligation to do so." That's not just a mayor talking. That's a call to war. You've got the ivory tower linking arms with the town square. You've got scholars turning into street fighters, trading textbooks for protest signs. This isn't just about Harvard's bank account. It's about every campus in America watching the feds and wondering, are we next? If the government can punish a university for speech it doesn't like, what happens to academic independence? What happens to research? To uncomfortable truths? To hard conversations that power doesn't want us to have? This case is about a lot more than grants. It's about the soul of higher education. So now we wait. The court will rule. The feds will respond. The protests might swell. And the whole nation will be watching one of the oldest, richest, most powerful universities in the world face off against a government with a vendetta. But what happens next? That's a whole other vibe, and we're covering it tomorrow. This is American Vibe House, where the truth walks loud and the headlines don't blink.